Welcome back, everybody. We are here again with the Abyssal crew in Victorian London. Um, I am Ash Cheshire, one of the two designers of Abyssal, along with my fabulous co-designer and colleague Laura Turner. And I take they or they pronouns. And I will be GMing this evening with my wonderful crew. Let's see, shall we go clockwise? Is that all right? We can move over to Brian.
Hello, everybody. My name is Brian, and I'm playing Lord Cross. Lord Cross uses the Bitten playbook, which is to say he is well on his way toward vampiredom and all the for all the positives and all the ills that apply.
Excellent, thank you.
Over to you, Josie.
That's me. I'm Josie playing the Wolfish playbook, and I am a scrappy cop by day and a maybe a werewolf by night. Um, I masquerade. Zandra Wood is female, but masquerades as a male in the London police since they are super sexist right now. With the help of my friend Reggie.
Coming at you, last place. I'm Ash Volcanic. I go by they, them pronouns, and I'm playing Reggie, he, him, and he is a Fey changeling. And so he's been around a while and basically kind of watches out over a lot of the older folks in town while also managing the stables and picking up little tidbits of information here and there. Because you never know where he might be lurking to listen in on your conversation.
It's really true.
Oh shit! Sorry.
It's all good. Excellent. All right. So yes, this is the stalwart crew, and when we ended last session, we were actually kind of just getting into a mission. Um, and we had headed out to, or rather, y'all had headed out to the ancestral home of Lord Cross, his family manor, outside of London. Um, y'all were going that way to investigate. Um, Brian, do you wanna catch us up? It was about the dueling pistols, right?
That is correct. Lord Cross is a newly minted Viscount, only having come into his own within the last couple of weeks after the death of his father, who was found untimely demised in the pardon in the Whitechapel neighborhood of London. Uh, Among the was it? Am I right? I will just go with that. I can't remember. I'm second guessing myself, but in London's Whitechapel. Um, among the things that were said to be among his effects were said to have been found among his effects were one of a brace of pistols that belonged to the family and belonged to the house. Another another item that should have been on my father's person but was not was an antique pocket watch. Um,
Yes,
and so we've
the pocket watch that you used as a reason to distract some of the police officers in the previous mission.
That is correct.
Right.
Seeking out information about the pistol and seeing if we could find its mate, we came out to the country manor at Woodmancote and sought sought the opportunity to investigate the house of my father. This is my
Hmm.
first time back since he has died, and I have now assumed the title.
And thanks to a critically successful engagement roll at the beginning of this mission, um, y'all have been welcomed onto the manor grounds and back into the home with absolutely open arms and delight. The manor staff are very happy to have you back. The guests are absolutely charming. The staff, they think Xandra and Reggie are wonderful. And so when we ended, Xandra and Reggie were still kind of making their way in, enjoying the delight and attention of the staff, who are um, kind of. I'm imagining like there was that big dance number in the movie Annie when she first arrives at Daddy Warbucks' place, and the whole like I think I'm gonna like it here. Like I kind of imagine something maybe along those lines. Not maybe not as much singing and dancing, but the staff is really happy that you're here. They are happy to see you.
I'm
And
enjoying their presence and personalities. Oh, no. The honor's all mine.
aw. And Lord Cross, you had just gone up to your father's study.
Indeed. I went up to
And
my
our,
father's study.
yeah, go ahead. Our cliffhanger.
I went to my father's study to see what I could find of what was there, to see if there were any clues that could lead us to understand better what was going on and how he came to be killed. And once I found my way to my father's study, what did I find on my desk? What was it there?
Was the box, right? A box that Cross immediately recognized, and maybe I don't remember if you recognized it literally having seen it before, or if you just something about it. Well, you tell me what about the box led Lord Cross to understand that this was left here just for you by your father.
It is a device, or the device on the top of the box is a private version of the family crest, something that is not that is a secret, or at least a private communication between Viscount's Cross from the past through to today. This particular box is something that has been owned by four Viscounts Cross over the and now five, I guess, over the time.
Nice. Okay, so this is a box that you immediately recognized as sort of a piece of your inheritance.
Indeed.
Gotcha. Is it? I honestly don't remember. Is it locked? Is it secured in some way?
There is a lock, and presumably the key can be found somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
but it is not immediately open. When I go to the box, I look at the box, and it seems to be pretty solid and pretty firmly latched. I will have to try and find the key to determine whether it is hidden somewhere here in the house, or perhaps it has been left with the solicitor. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know.
All right. Well, we have that outstanding effect in effect, so the odds are definitely in your favor for making significant progress on that.
May they ever be so.
And after that engine goes by, I'm going to jump back down to Reggie and Xandra. So you're still making your way inside. You're being welcomed in, and let's see. I believe we had there was the previous Lord Cross's personal gentleman accompanied you upstairs, Lord Cross. Is that correct?
Uh,
I know he met you all outside.
I do believe that the butler met us all outside
Mm-hmm.
and accompanied me up to the office,
Mm-hmm.
but I let myself inside the office
Yeah.
privately.
Yeah, and he would definitely respect your privacy for that. So he's nearby, but he's not inside the office with you.
Sure.
So yeah, Xandra and Reggie, you're being given a lot of different welcoming options. You're being asked, are you tired? Are you hungry? Can we offer you some refreshment? Would you care to come inside? What would you all like to do?
I would love some biscuits and some tea, please.
All right, well that's easy enough.
And some egg and soldiers.
Okay. Yeah, they bring you inside. One of the staff has heard both of these requests, and the message has been sent along, and you're welcomed in and shown to a very lovely, bright drawing room. Like a just kind of a sitting room with some low tables and comfortable sofas. Very Victorian. So it has, there's a lot of decorations. There are paintings on the walls. A lot of, looks like probably a lot of um, the the family decoration things have been put into this room, as a way to entertain you.
Is there anything we can do to help Lord Cross in the mission?
Well, he kind of took off into a different part of the house. Do you wanna try to find him or ask anybody about him?
I'm kind of thinking if there might be a flashback scene of Lord Cross saying, "All right, here's what I need you to do."
We could do a little flashback to maybe the carriage. Y'all took a private carriage in, so you could definitely have a free and open conversation before you got here. Sure, let's do a little flashback into the carriage.
If there is anything near Brian.
Uh, there are
Otherwise, I
things. Oh, go ahead.
as otherwise I can poke my nose around.
Why not both?
There are things and places that certainly now, as Viking Cross, I won't have access to without being obvious. And so I would greatly appreciate it if you were able to use your investigative skills to determine what you can learn about what was going on with the former Viscount, and if there was anyone who might know why he was in London that night.
All right. I'll probably go to the kitchen then and sit down at a table in there instead of one of the fancy rooms.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, the two of us uncouth heathens could make our way to the kitchen for our snacks and bevies instead of being triggered to the whole
Sure.
service.
So perhaps when one of them kind of heads towards the kitchens with your food requests, do the two of you just sort of like, oh, that's where the food is, and just kind of follow
Yes.
along with them?
Yes.
like, oh, okay, we're going this way.
Beautiful. Absolutely. So let's see. Volcanic, what is the name of the staff member who has just introduced themselves to you two, and is now unwittingly leading you to the kitchens?
Let's see. I'm just coming up with a random name, yes?
Yeah, yeah.
Let's go with Heather.
Heather, beautiful.
Heather
So
Ramsford.
Yes. She introduces herself to you with a short curtsy and in taking your order about tea and biscuits and some eggs and soldiers. And she says, absolutely, those will be along presently. And she turns and starts to walk. And as you follow her, she hears you behind her and she kind of looks back, but she gives you a little grin and says, oh, all right then, come along. And she very happily escorts you to the kitchens. She shows you I mean, the seating is simpler in here, but there is a very nice table and some possibly benches. Let's say there are a couple of benches along the line of the table. And so you get to hear a little bit of the inner kitchen. She goes through and puts in the request for some tea and biscuits. That comes out fairly quickly. And the egg and soldiers a few minutes after that. That takes another little bit of time. That was a slightly more specialized order.
I'm going to say that while the cooks and everybody are doing their thing, preparing all the treats, Reggie, he's just gobsmacked at all of the decadence in this kitchen and just cannot help himself. And so he's just looking in like all the containers like, oh, what's this? Oh, that's sugar. That one's salt.
Oh, no. All right.
That one's, I don't know.
That was pepper.
Okay.
Who knew you British folks could handle cayenne?
So Heather comes back in and sees this and chuckles, but is a little bit flustered, and invites you to come and have a seat. And she sort of tries to offer to, if there's any questions that I could answer for you, anything you'd like to know, please feel free to ask. And here, please enjoy. Is there anything else that I can do for either of you?
Well, I'm curious, were you around the day that Lord Cross's father was last here?
Wow. Yeah.
Go right into it.
Yeah, for real, right?
I thought about it, I'm like, no.
Okay, so that
Perfect for Reggie,
definitely.
I mean, I'm weird as it is. Like, I'm already sticking my finger in all their flour and sugar.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
So, like, I'm already invading all of their space.
She's definitely taken aback by this. I'm actually going to have you do a roll so that we find out how much she's able to kind of pivot and how much she's willing to share with you.
Okay.
So, let's see, what action would you like to roll on that? And are there any of your powers that you would like to use?
Well, I can use my power of suggestion to just be like, so tell me, where were you?
So, italics, tell me.
Let's see. Powers. No, not that. Actions. What the fuck's the rest of the information? Yeah, I don't know what action I want to do. What are my options? Do I have?
Sure.
Well, I was thinking possible either mingle or research. Because mingle is like...
Yeah, mingle would be
casual.
One of my top suggestions because yeah, exactly. You're doing great.
And then... yeah, I thought research might include like more interrogation kind of stuff. But I'm not sure if I'm right on that.
Yeah, sorry. I was looking at the character sheet. So gather information or research. Yeah, it's well, let me just pull up our actions so that I can give you The exact. Yeah, so research is read details and interpret evidence. You might gather information from documents, newspapers, and books. You might study an esoteric topic. So it's a little bit off from that, whereas mingle is directly casually socialize and blend in with a crowd. You might gain access to resources, information, people, or places, make a good impression, and win someone over. So my strongest lean would probably be towards mingle. Um, or you can use one of your powers. Yeah. Or a combination of the two.
I think I would start with a mingle, and if that fails horribly, then I can resort to powers.
Totally, totally.
And I'm happy to help if we want to mingle as a team.
So do you want to do a group action? Do you want to set that up for Reggie in some way? What would you like to do?
I think either one. Let's see. I am abysmal at mingle.
Okay. So maybe a setup might be a little bit better.
Assist, yeah. Or I was thinking assist.
You want to assist?
Yeah, since we already have a good position from our. Yeah, assist seems straightforward enough.
Yeah.
I probably would not roll well, and I'd take a stress anyway if I rolled a group action.
All right. So we will have you assist. So you're just going to take the stress and give Reggie an extra die.
Yeah.
Excellent. So that'll give you a +1 die on your roll, Reggie. And
okay, so I'm rolling 2d6 then.
Let's see. So what is your mingle is 1? Yeah. So you'll roll 2.
I got a 4 and a 3.
Okay, so we'll take that 4. It is it's a not a great roll, but the outstanding effect is going to help you out a little bit there. So what sort of angle are you taking on this mingle? How are you? What's Reggie's angle of trying to sort of be like, yeah, we're just having a chat, or is it more like, you know what?
Be a little bit,
yeah, we're the same. A little flirty.
He's flirty about it. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
Because he's just like, hey, you're cute. You are awesome about this whole kitchen thing. You seem to know what's going on around here. You like. So how long have you worked here? You seem to have a really good grasp on things.
Nice. Yeah, she definitely warms up to that. Because it's a 4, it's going to be kind of a mixed success. So you get what you want. She is going to talk to you a little bit. And as she does that, I'm going to figure out what the associated consequence is going to be. Yeah, so she actually comes and kind of sits down on the edge of the bench a little bit and says, "Oh yes, I've actually been in the service of this house for a few years now. I'm one of the more recent, really, but I have been here long enough to feel that I've gotten a good sense of the family and the movements here day to day. It's not as exciting as living in London, though, I would imagine." She kind of puts her. I figured out what the negative consequence is. She puts her chin on her hand and kind of leans in even more. It's like, I imagine your life is very exciting.
Oh, it's a lot of being shoved around on the streets and generally being neglected by society, and I wouldn't say it's nice.
Oh, no, of course, that sounds so difficult. You must be very brave. Can you tell what the negative consequence is yet?
She is too charmed.
She is really crushing on you. Yeah.
I think to reflect my assist. It sure smells nice here, though.
Nice. Absolutely. She kind of sits back up and remembers herself a little bit and looks over to you, the police officer. Wait, did you come in uniform? What are you wearing?
No.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
She doesn't know that about you, but she definitely recognizes that there's another person in the room.
Trousers, jacket.
She's also kind of snapped out of it a little bit by word from Cook. And so she gets up and kind of shakes it off a little bit and says, I'll be right back. I'm so sorry. And she goes and brings in your eggs and soldiers, which have been prepared.
Jab Reggie a little bit with my elbow. She likes you.
Gotta interview with the job.
All right. So we're going to pause there for a second and jump back upstairs.
Cool.
So while these two are having their raucous kitchen adventure, Lord Cross is debating what to do about this box.
It doesn't seem to be much of a debate. I need to see if I can find the key.
Great.
It certainly should be somewhere here in the study.
Is there anything that you remember from your father telling you about this box, or anything? Is there anything additional that you'd like to create around kind of the memory of it, or we've got a bit started?
The box is old family history,
Mm-hmm.
and there are reputed to be old family secrets within the box.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
And the information within is meant to be only for the Viscount. Once, when I was much younger, I came into my father's study unexpectedly, and he very quickly started and then slammed the box closed, and then shouted me out of the room. And it's one of my stronger recollections around the box.
All right. So where would you like to start looking for this key?
I imagine that looking here in the study, let us actually start by taking a look at the desk itself and see if perhaps there's a false bottom or a secret compartment in the desk that might hold the key, the information.
Cool. Yeah. Let's take a look around. What kind of roll do you want to do for that?
I would imagine this would be scrutiny. Yes.
That sounds good. Scrutinize it. Absolutely.
Is there anything that I can do to get additional effect beyond just the one die I have under scrutinize?
Yeah, let's see. I'm trying to think if I can come up with a devil's bargain to offer you, which would involve giving you an extra die, but then the devil's bargain is a negative outcome which will occur regardless of your roll result. And
now, could I possibly push myself or something like that?
You can definitely push yourself for an additional die. Yeah, you can do that. Take a stress for an extra die, and tell us about what are you, how are you stressing yourself out to make this more likely to succeed?
I think yes. It's just one stress to push myself.
Well, hold on, let me double check that, but I think that's right. Hmm. Okay. It's not in my quick reference. We'll say one for now.
Okay. Um, I am, looking at the desk, looking at the various, various components of the desk. I'm twirling my the Viscount signet ring on my finger, and trying to assess what might be there. Um, Certainly, since that night I was bitten, my fingertips seem significantly more sensitive. So
Mm-hmm.
I will start to run my fingers along the underside of the desk, along the edges, to see if I can find a false space, anything like that. As this is happening, um, powerful, not particularly pleasant memories of being cold on the carpet here, literally cold on the carpet in my father's study after having earned his ire for one reason or another, are flooding my memories.
That is stressful.
I got a 4 and a 2.
Okay, we will take that four. That's a good mixed success. Um, so I'm gonna say the consequence is an additional stress. We'll call that the consequence of the roll. Um, and what you find with a four, um, you do find a little. There's a one of the. It has sort of decorations carved into the desk, and to an average human eye, this would probably not be noticeable at all. But yours are not really entirely either of those things anymore. And so your greater than average, more than human eye notices that one of the little, like a little fleur de lis or some little decorative element that's sort of a raised carving thing is just off. It's like it's on the other side and it's oriented up, and this one is off, and there's a little shadow of a gap where there's no lacquer. There's raw wood along the edge of where it seems to be kind of tweaked to the side.
Well, let us scrutinize that to be certain.
Mm-hmm. When you get up closer and mess with it a little bit, it turns to the side and kind of clicks, and a panel opens in the like the leg of the desk. And it seems to be a sort of a vertical panel, it slides out, and there's a little alcove in here.
Excellent. What do we find there?
Inside, you find a sealed letter addressed to you in your father's hand.
I'll unseal it, uh, taking note that the the wax seal matches the signet ring that I'm now wearing.
Mm-hmm. You can line them up, and you see that yep, this was indeed sealed by him, or at least by this ring. I guess if we're being fully inductively logical.
Indeed.
You gonna open it and read it?
Yes, I am.
All right. So inside, um, he opens by saying, My dearest son, if you have encountered this letter, it means that I am likely gone. It also means that you have likely received a part of your inheritance that you were not expecting. For an average person, would not have been able to find this note. There is much that I wish I could have told you. If you have found this, it also means that things have not gone exactly as I had planned. There is more that I want you to know, and in time, you will find let's see, how does he put it? You will find more of my messages as time goes on. And what does he say at the end? Let's see.
Good
It is
luck
good.
finding the next clue.
Right, exactly. It is good that you are home. Though you shot forward from this manor into your successful career, may you always remember that home is where the heart is. And then he has signed it, Lord Viscount Cross, etc. Because he is still who he is.
He literally signs it though with etc. It's too many names.
Very well. I look in the envelope to see if the key is there.
There is no key, but you do notice that there is a small symbol embossed at the bottom of the letter, just raised into the paper. It's a little hard to make out, but if you hold it and kind of turn it in the light a little bit, it looks almost like you've got outstanding effect. It looks like a pair of dueling pistols, but the design also seems to have a keyhole between them.
All right. Then I shall look for the box that contained the pistols.
All right, we're going to jump back downstairs to the kitchens. How are your snacks and flirts going?
Oh, snacks are gone. Demolished.
Snacks are gone.
Nary a crumb left.
Licking the plate.
Heather has offered more. Already has the kitchen preparing some more food for you both, and she is just asking Reggie questions a mile a minute about you work in the stable in London. I don't get to see many of the London finery with the horses and the carriages. Do you get to work with the carriages?
Not so much. It's mostly just a mule and some sheep. But occasionally a horse comes through and needs to be, well taken care of.
Oh, absolutely.
When you had those goats last summer.
Yeah, the goats last summer, those were smelly and obnoxious.
So she is happily feeding you and just asking you all kinds of questions.
Me outside of my character. I'm not so great with like this weird interpersonal small talk sort of thing. So I'm just gonna pretend that it's all happening very
Yeah,
naturally.
absolutely, absolutely. You know, we can narrate the way that things are going. We don't always have to depict it specifically. Yeah. So
Yeah.
there, I mean, the three of you are just having a really nice time. Like she's feeding you. She's having a great time talking to both of you. Well, mostly to Reggie, but she's also very happy that Xandra is here. Um, and yeah, the three of you, like as far as Heather's concerned, this is perfect, and this is exactly what's supposed to be happening right now.
Always a chaperone, never a chap. I think Xandra's a little restless about what
Mm-hmm.
else she can find out.
Okay. What does she want to do?
I'm not sure. What did we find out before? Was was it just if she was here or not, or did we find out a little bit more
About, I'm sorry.
from Reggie's role?
Oh, so yeah, you found out that she was here. She seems to feel like she has some pretty uh confident understanding of the way that things kind of run around here. And then she managed to distract both of you off of the line of questioning, because she has never had someone be so flirtatiously nice to her before. And also probably a little bit of fey glamour leaning in on the outstanding effect here as well.
Yeah, some accidental glamour, I
Yeah.
would say.
Yeah. So yeah, so the unfortunate consequence of the mixed success is that Heather is going to continue to bring the conversation back to how cool Reggie is if she's given the chance to do so.
Right. Um,
To be fair,
To be
Reggie is
fair.
rather cool.
Reggie is pretty awesome.
Just charming the pants off of everybody.
It's really true.
Metaphorically.
Or sorry, yeah.
kind of thinking of what seeing what I can notice here downstairs, whether it's the coming and goings of others.
Yeah, because Xandra being a police officer and a sleuth,
Mm-hmm.
and also having a super trained nose, you'll be able to find things while Reggie distracts everybody.
It's very true. What kind of information do you want to look for? And do you want to stay here in the kitchen, or are you gonna get up and slip out?
Yeah, I'm thinking that
Like if you want to indicate to Reggie that you want him to like get everybody to leave the kitchen so you can explore it a little bit more, I could be like, "Show me to the dancing quarters. I must dance.
I must dance."
I'm thinking from what I've gleaned from like Downton Abbey that there's connected halls to other.
For sure.
There's downstairs is like
the downstairs,
the whole area, and so I'm thinking there's probably not a whole lot in the kitchen specifically, and like.
And this honestly, like the smells in here are just all food, you know.
Right.
That's what you're going to pick up most easily. Is this is where all of the delicious things happen.
Yeah, and that duck is about to go off if they don't cook it soon.
Do you tell her that?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what I guess anything out of place. So, yeah, I want to look more than the kitchen, the halls, laundry room. I'm not going to go into anyone's like private.
You're not going to go into quarters, but yeah.
But if there's a door open,
you might kind of peek around.
Yeah.
Peek your nose through and just get a whiff of all their belongings without actually looking at them.
All right. So, so I'm going to set you up for a roll on that. Take a look at that for a second. And I'm going to hop back over to Lord Cross. So you've found this letter. We have the embossed symbol with some pistols. You want to find the where the pistols were displayed. Now, in my notes, I had that they were displayed. So I had imagined that they were in like maybe a case or up on the walls or some such thing. They could be in a box. Where in the manor did your father generally display these kinds of, if I remember correctly, the detail about these was that they were antique and not really meant for use. They were more kind of, these were the great whatever, pistols
Certainly
that
not meant
solved
for
the
use
whatever.
anytime in the last 100 years.
Right.
I would think that they would have been displayed in the Great Hall.
Okay. So you're gonna make your way to the Great Hall?
Yes.
Excellent. And when you step outside, now Grosvenor is your the valet back in Finsbury Circus. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
And
What is Frobisher? Thank you. Frobisher is the head
I
of
have
house
a
now.
note at the bottom of the last page, something to the effect of Frobisher knows.
Frobisher knows. I wonder what that means. I will be keeping better notes about Frobisher. I bet
The
he
last
does
time
though.
Oh,
Just in general.
that might have been a slight leaped conclusion, but I remember Frobisher kind of hinting at saying something in a sly way that was like, I know what you're about, or I know what your father was about, or something like that. I don't quite remember what it was.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something like, oh, he knows he's a vampire and is going to keep the secret.
He knows
It
something's
was
going on,
about
yeah.
the umbrella. He was like, "Oh yeah, naturally
Oh,
he
that's
needs the umbrella."
right. That's right. Frobisher stopped a junior staff member, Heather, let's say, from taking your parasol. That's right. Frobisher intervened and prevented you from taking any sun damage.
Heather.
Heather, no,
Heather!
bad Heather.
So yes, when you come out into the hallway, Frobisher is standing nearby at a respectful distance, but at attendance, and he greets you the way he used to greet your father, which is a little weird, I would imagine.
Yes. Incredibly uncomfortable. Frobisher, let us go. Let us go down to the Great Hall.
Very
I
good, sir.
wish to inspect the collection.
Yes, of course you do, sir. He doesn't seem surprised. All right, so he follows you down to the Great Hall. It is great. It is a hall. It is very much the area that even more than the first room that Reggie and Xandra were offered and decided the kitchen sounded more fun. This is the room that generally is kept closed off a lot of the time. This was the like event center of the manor. So yeah, lots of big showy displays of things. The public version of the family coat of arms is on display here. Bigger portraits of older members of the family, more generational stuff, and of course the historical weapons and cool things that your family has collected over the generations and tacked up onto the walls. So, do you have a preference about where these pistols would have been stored?
I imagine that there is a case above
Mm-hmm.
the mantle, above the fireplace.
There absolutely is. Yep.
And that case would have would probably be glass fronted, but would have both pistols in the case.
Mm-hmm. So as you approach the fireplace, you notice that there is actually a black satin cloth draped over the top of the pistol case, covering the glass.
Which I will remove.
Okay. And the case is intact. There is one pistol.
There's supposed to be two, aren't there?
Yeah, there should be.
There should be two. Frobisher, help me bring the case down.
Very good, sir. Frobisher comes over and assists you in lifting it down, and he then takes a key from his pocket. He pulls out his little ring of keys and hands you one key and says, "The key to the case, sir."
When was the last time you pulled out the key to the case, Frobisher?
The last time I pulled this key, sir? I couldn't say. It's been quite some time. Your father did have a copy of this key, though, sir.
Where would his copy have been kept? On his person?
I believe so, sir.
When did my father remove the pistol from the case?
This is the GM thinking, not Frobisher. Let's see. When did your father remove the pistol from the case? And does Frobisher know that? Okay. He tells you that your father had informed him that the pistols were being restored and cleaned about a month before his death.
Curious.
He's a little hard to read for most people, but I'm gonna say without a roll because you've known him pretty much all your life, and you also have greater perceptive skills now. I'm gonna say that he controlled himself, but he seemed surprised and a little alarmed that one of the pistols is not here. And he was willing to give you the information about what he knows about the pistols, but he doesn't seem very happy about it.
I'll take the key to the case, please, Frobisher. Can you take the case to the Lord's study, please?
Very good, sir. Would you like me to do that now, sir?
Yes, please.
Very good, sir. And he takes off with the case. At a run. No, he just leaves.
We'll walk over to the side of the hall. One side of the hall is all paneled wood, and the other side has large windows.
Mm-hmm.
I will take a look outside of those large windows, making sure to stay just out of the brilliant sun streaming through them. It gives me a bit of a headache, but the memories are vivid.
You're looking out onto the front lawn of the estate. I would imagine as a child you probably played out there. This room itself, there were birthday parties, Christmas, Victorian Christmas in here. Dang, yes. Good parties. Seeing your parents dance.
Uncle Fezziwig.
Are you holding the pistol?
No, the pistol is still in the case. I
Oh,
looked
you
at
left it in,
different.
and he's taken it up to your
Right.
study.
I've
Okay, I
taken the
thought maybe you
key.
had taken the pistol out. You've taken the key.
I've
Gotcha.
taken the
Okay.
key.
Hmm.
And
So in that case, Frobisher also took the black satin cloth. I'm not sure why. It just seems, like that might
seems
be
apropos.
interesting later. All right.
And yes, Lord Cross will, stare, will look, you know, darkly out into the the fields and forests beyond.
Yeah. All right. So as the camera pans back a little bit off of Lord Cross and through the kitchen where Reggie is still having the time of his life, we go through the kitchen and into one of the little hallways, and we catch up with Xandra, who has decided to go on a little fact finding mission through the downstairs of the manor.
I was going to change my mind because I realized a thing I could do with the conversation, but I'll stick to exploring the halls and maybe
Okay.
catch them later.
Cool.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, looking through the servants' areas.
Okay.
And are we at an action roll?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna have you do a roll, and then that will determine what, if anything, you find.
All right. I think I'm scrutinizing.
Okay.
Um, yeah.
And because this is more looking around at belongings and items and looking for things, scrutinize makes more sense here than it would if you were trying to talk to somebody. Just to kind of clarify the use of this one.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Particularly the anticipate outcomes or uncover opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I got a 1 and a 2.
Okie doke. Well, not great. Um, you, it just seems like a pretty standard downstairs to you. Um, there's pretty usual. You're smelling kind of the same people over and over. It seems like, this is the staff. Um, Things don't really seem out of place. Everything seems pretty organized down here. It's very clean. It's very well kept. One thing you do gather is you think this manor seems to be really run very well and is being managed very nicely. Uh, this seems like very very nice accommodations and a good working environment is the sense that you get.
Almost too well.
So do you want to make your way back to the kitchen? Are you going to make your way out into the main part of the house?
Yeah, I'll head back into the kitchen, or at least
Okay.
towards Reggie and wherever Heather is following Reggie if they're not there.
Okay. Yep, Heather and Reggie, are you all still in the kitchen? Or rather, Reggie, are you still in the kitchen? Because Heather's going to be wherever you are.
She's glued to my side at this point. I would say that at this point, Reggie is like wanting to get the attention of more and more people, and having the
Okay.
attention of just Heather is insufficient.
Yep.
So
Yep.
he wants to find out where like some of the other folks in the house might be. And so he's asking Heather, like, Heather, where can we find, I don't know, like where can we find the person who works in the gardens, and where can we find the person who deals with the laundry? I'm curious about them and how they live.
Oh my goodness. You want me to introduce you around a little bit?
Yes, please.
Excellent. Absolutely. Come with me. And Xandra, as you're coming back in, it's sort of a like, oh, hello, because Heather has enthusiastically jumped up and is getting ready to give Reggie the grand downstairs tour, introduce Reggie to all of the other staff. That's what we call it. The staff. And we are at 8 o'clock, so we're going to take a brief bio break here. And when we come back, we'll find out how this fabulous manor mission concludes.
And how that brief downstairs tour goes.
That's right. All right, everybody. We will be back in a moment. All right, welcome back. Let me just take our little banner down. There we go. Okie doke. All right, welcome back, everybody. Okay, so we had just had a re-merging of 2/3 of our party when Xandra, returning to the kitchens, encounters Reggie and Heather about to take off on a whirlwind expedition, meeting some of the other staff who keep this lovely manor up and running. And Lord Cross had just sent his I'm so sorry, I just forgot his name.
Frobisher.
Frobisher sent Frobisher with the case and the remaining dueling pistol back to your office, or to your what you maybe still think of as your father's office.
Indeed, indeed.
And was gazing out the window, having sounds like bittersweet. Is that a fair assessment of the memories that are being evoked from being back here after so long?
Let's go with unsettled.
Unsettled. Mm-hmm. My third favorite kind of chocolate after bittersweet. All right. So let's see. So Heather, if neither of you intervene, she'll happily invite you to come along, Xandra. But she is definitely on a mission to fulfill Reggie's desires, Reggie's request. Reggie wants to meet new people. Heather is here to introduce him. Do you want to come along?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, Heather starts leading the way through. Xandra, this looks a little familiar. But Heather actually opens a door that looked like the others, and as you mentioned, you weren't opening closed doors. And this door opens out into the grounds. And so she opens it and welcomes both of you through, and then closes it behind you. And you are standing outside looking at the manor's beautiful back gardens. She takes you along over to a young man who is trimming some of the greenery. She brings you up and is calling his name already ahead of both of you. She's saying, "Richard, Richard," and he turns and looks. "Oh, Heather. Oh," and he immediately straightens up and, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and he becomes very formal, seeing that a couple of guests are coming, and he puts the tools down and he stands in attendance. She brings you up and introduces both of you. He nods respectfully. Do either of you want to do or say anything with the gardener?
These are some lovely flowers you have here. I'm sure you can't be so stiff when you're working with them.
Oh, that's very kind, sir. Thank you. I will pass along your compliments to our head of the greens.
Oh, you're not in charge of the greens?
Oh, no, ma'am. I am the apprentice gardener.
Oh, well, the way you handled those clippers, I assumed you were the master of these grounds.
That is very kind of you to say.
Let's get to charming the pants off of this one.
You want to mingle with the gardener?
Not necessarily.
He smiles and nods, and Heather feels like this encounter has been completed, and so she gleefully does she actually take your hand?
Maybe she grabs by the elbow, come
Yes.
along now.
Yes, she absolutely puts her hand at your elbow and sort of escorts you along, and he smiles and nods a little like, Not sure what that was, but he's happy about it, and he picks up his tools and continues doing what he was doing. And around the corner, you can see, and Xandra, you can definitely smell. We are coming to the stables now. So, Lord Cross, how you doing in the Great Hall?
I imagine it's just there's just a few minutes of standing and sort of watching the grounds before uh, making my way back upstairs to the study, hoping that Frobisher has discreetly absented himself after leaving the box.
Do you notice Reggie, Xandra, and Heather go tearing past the window as you turn to go back towards the stairway?
With my newly um, with my newly increased perception, one would imagine that I would,
Yeah, it was
but
kind
I
of a
did not.
rhetorical question. Oh, you did not.
With his new vampire eyes.
Oh, but the unsettling memories have you very internally preoccupied, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then it's just a slightly comedic moment for the audience to see our brooding lord turn and just miss the trio of joyful guests. Well, the duo of joyful guests and their enthusiastic escort, leading them past the window in a bit of an italic angle as they go uh, careening by.
Right.
So do you go back up to your study?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Frobisher has placed the case on the desk. Um, it is next to the box, and the black cloth is now draped across both of them.
I will remove the cloth,
Mm-hmm.
set it aside,
Mm-hmm.
and start to examine the case and the pistol and um, uh, the ball and the ramrods and all of the pieces, all of the tools and equipment that come with the dueling set.
Mm-hmm.
The ball measuring tool as well
Sure.
as everything, to see if perhaps somewhere in there is secreted a key.
Yeah. All right. Give me a roll. What kind of roll would you like to do? You want to go for scrutinize again?
I It would have to be scrutinized. I don't see anything else that would. I certainly don't intend to wreck anything. Um,
Not intentionally.
I certainly don't intend to wreck anything.
Yep.
So it'll have to be scrutinized.
Okay. And let's see. What would be an interesting devil's bargain for this, players? If we wanted to offer Lord Cross an extra die in a tempting a with a tempting offer of an extra die, but something undesirable would happen regardless of how successful the roll is. Let's see. So you're scrutinizing the box you're looking at. Um, I will
Maybe
offer. Yeah.
maybe Frobisher like opens the door to say something and like catches him open the box and something weird happens or something like that. Like there's a little spectral something or another. I don't know.
Yeah, there could be some sort of effect that might impact Frobisher. Um, that could be interesting. Um, or I was thinking
Mm-hmm.
that maybe regardless of how well you inspect everything, whether or not you find something, at some point this pistol is going to accidentally go off and break something in this room.
I don't think I'm ready
It could
for the pistol.
accidentally shoot out the window and kill Heather.
It's not going to be that bad. That's a rough die.
Wait, this isn't Night Witches. Sorry.
Right.
I don't think I'm ready for the pistol to go off just yet, so
Okay.
I'll just use the one die.
Okay.
And a roll of 5.
Okay. That is a pretty nice success, especially with your engagement roll. All right, so you inspect the box, you inspect the pistol. Some piece of the hardware on the pistol appears to be either newer or much more polished, sort of worn to a polish than the rest of the pistol. What part is that?
That would be the the lock that the flint goes in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the flintlock, absolutely. What do you do with this information?
I will I will look to see if there's any evidence of. Actually, I suppose I will count the balls. Has this pistol been used? Are there any balls that are missing? Has the pistol been cleaned since the last time it was used?
Mm-hmm.
How much time seems to have elapsed since the last time it was fired?
Mm-hmm.
Should be, 100 years or so.
It should be, right? It seems to have been used and cleaned and reloaded significantly more recently. Within the last 100 years, you're willing to bet. Is it loaded? No, it's not loaded, but it has been cleaned. As to your question about the number of balls, is there a standard? Is that something where there you would know how many were in there?
Well, it probably would be an even number of balls.
That makes sense for dueling pistols, at least, right? There is an even number, so. As you're examining the pistol, you also notice that, and I'm just gonna ask for the grace of everybody because I do not know antique pistols well enough to improvise this cleanly off the top of my head. But let's imagine that there is some kind of pin that holds the flintlock in place, and that appears to be modern, by your standards.
Very interesting. I will examine the action of the pistol. Allowing it to click closed. Reset it. And then I will. Activate the trigger and then reset it. Activate the trigger again, reset it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will set it down and examine the case. All of the hardware, as I said, within the case, as well as looking to see if there's anything under the case, if there's any way, if there's a key to be found.
So inside the case, under the, like the fabric that's kind of pressed down into the indentation that would hold the pistols in place for nice display, under that, where there's again, let's just say this is where I would put it if I were designing this kind of a box, where there's the cleaning supplies, the historic musket balls and that sort of thing. There is also, again, a very modern looking little tool that appears to be designed to kind of pull that pin. And when you were activating the flintlock, you noticed that when it retracted out of the back of the pistol, that the rest of the it seems to be made of brass, um, and the extension of this piece inside the pistol, it doesn't really look flintlock shaped. It almost looks like sort of like a little circle of brass that's kind of being pulled out, and then when you pull the trigger, it does go back in. It is hooked into the mechanism, but you're not sure that this is actually really a flintlock.
Does the mechanism itself look like it might fit in that keyhole?
The flintlock mechanism.
Yeah.
The part that you can see that retracts out of the pistol doesn't resemble a key, no.
Right.
But there is that little modern tool that you found inside the box that looks like it might act upon the pin that's holding this piece in place.
Let's fiddle with that.
All right. Yep, that you're able to take that and pull the pin, and when you do, this piece comes right out, and the top is sort of a teardrop shape, and then there's a shank down the side with what looks like sort of like a groove, like a tongue and groove, but you have the groove side. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a long shaft with a groove in it, and then a teardrop type shape, mm-hmm. slightly angled off to one side at the top. With the little thumb hold at the outside of the teardrop that resembled a flintlock when it was concealed inside the pistol.
Out of character. I have no idea what you're describing.
I will draw a picture, but it effectively looks like a lollipop kind of stick with mm-hmm. a thing on the top. And sure. No, this is unrecognizable. This is a very strange little piece of brass. This doesn't make a lot of sense by itself. Okay. But
compounding our mysteries. Very good.
The observation that you have is that this looks like maybe it is a piece of a larger assemblage. And that is what you have found so far.
Okay.
So Heather has now dutifully taken you to the stables. She has shown you their finest horses. She has shown you the carriages. She introduced you to the grooms. She introduced you to the stable head. They are all delighted to meet you, although a little bemused, but the glamour that follows Reggie in particular is really effective on everybody. They're all really enjoying your visit.
There we go. Sorry, my mouse apparently died,
it's
and
all
I
good.
Had to tab navigate to the unmute.
Oh gosh!
But I found it.
So, is there anything else that the two of you would like to do here?
I would like to basically find out through Heather and her tour who else was here that night that the Lord disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
And
as
do you ask her about this um, in front of some of the other staff? How do you approach this subject with her?
not in front of the other staff,
Okay.
coming and going.
Okay.
So like, if she says we're going to meet so and so, kind of steer to like, oh, and were they here at night? And after we leave, oh, you didn't mention Robert was. How long has Robert been here? And kind of.
Oh, the gardener?
I just made up a new name.
I think the gardener was Richard, but yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think,
And
Richard's example of an unexpected encounter, because I thought we were going to meet the groundskeeper, and I guess Richard was on the way, so it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
And do you specifically say the night that the former Lord Cross disappeared?
I think Reggie started with that, or if not, I'll say the date, or maybe.
Okay. Yeah, I think if it felt, I think Reggie's question was a little more sort of around that time, so it was a little bit less direct. So that's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
Because she also may not be quite as forthcoming to Xandra directly. But yeah, if you kind of keep it, you keep it in the zone of, around that time, or yeah, she kind of is coming at it from an angle of talking about the way that she's very proud of how the manor has bore up under this recent tragedy. And so, she very much shares with you about the impact that had on the household. And in particular that, we all just feel so much for Frobisher.
For Frobisher. Oh, because that was the former valet of the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we could also ask her if anybody's been acting strangely since the whole ordeal. Have they been acting kind of fishy?
Right.
I think, kind of going to that way, like, oh, they...
Is somebody hanging out in the garden that shouldn't be hanging out in the garden?
They look sad. Were they close to the Lord? Or,
She thinks for a minute, and then she kind of, she says, well, no, I can't think of, well, no, I don't think so. I should probably bring you back inside now. And she seems to get a little uncomfortable. You may have pushed in a little bit hard. She's kind of, she's a little bit like, well, and she offers to bring you back inside.
It's so beautiful out.
She is delighted at your attention, but I think you've hit up against her sense of manor loyalty a little bit at this point. But she happily brings you back inside. Yeah, do you want to roll for it? Because that's just, if you say that this is what you're doing, this is how she's going to respond.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I have been steering this conversation the whole time.
Oh, have you? Game changer. All right. Let's see your roll.
I have a pretty good roll, but Reggie, did you want to help at all?
Yeah, I can try to help because I do have this reverse empathy skill, which I think is what's been in effect this entire time unintentionally. Is just
that makes sense.
Having the effect of just like everybody loves me because I love everybody. I love meeting new people.
Right.
And so, you could say that I'm helping with that whole sort of empathy thing.
Sounds good.
Having the magical goading ability to be like, tell us.
Right. Okay. So let's see. That would be, and I think that's maybe a setup that you're taking the action of using your reverse empathy power to give some improved position or effect. I'm going to say, because we're already at maximum effect, that this will potentially increase your position a little bit. This will give you, well, you're kind of at the best position as well. We'll give you a bonus die for it then. I'm the GM. I get to make up whatever rules I want.
Yeah.
Because that's fair.
All right.
Okay.
A 5.
Beautiful. All right. Um, so yeah, you have been steering the conversation in this direction very, very gently, and following kind of her path. So when she was really leaning into her pride and emotional connection, that's what got really resonated back with her, and not in a manipulative way, but just you're using your skills of building trust and building rapport that you have from your job, and you also have a pretty good between the two of you especially, you've got a lot in your pocket here supernaturally as well to help kind of make her feel at ease. And so she actually on a 5 she will kind of take you all aside, away from the others. And as she's bringing you back in, she's not like hiding it. She doesn't think that this is, secret information, but just that, she's kind of sharing, well, since the two of you seem to have a real care for the downstairs folks here, I can tell you, I don't know if folks is Victorian. For those of us who work here at the manor, we we all of course felt very badly, and we miss him dearly. But in particular, Frobisher seems to be very affected. And let's see, Brian, who is the staff member that's been acting a little weird since your father disappeared, since Lord Cross's father disappeared?
You mean besides Frobisher?
Yes, besides Frobisher.
Um, trying to remember all of the various different positions available that were in upstairs, downstairs.
Sure. If let's see, there would be
there's cooks
likely
and
the
maids
the
and
cooks. There would
gardeners.
probably be a new if Frobisher has been elevated to head of household, they may have a new apprentice who is training to become a personal valet. Because Frobisher, should you choose to come back to the manor, he would not necessarily be able to discharge both of those duties. Um, and so his promotion opened up a possible position. So there could be a new person in the house. There's also likely, as you said, there would be cooking staff. You might have a smaller staff that manage multiple things, but we have now established that there are some grooms people who take care of the horse and the carriage, or horses. There are some people who take care of the greens and the garden.
And it could very well be Heather.
And it could even be Heather.
Let's go with the gamekeeper.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So Heather, what is the gamekeeper's name?
Porter.
Porter. Porter the gamekeeper. And gamekeeper is the porter. No. So Porter, Heather tells you, is Has Porter worked here for a long time, Brian?
As long as I've been alive.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So, definitely longer than Heather. And so, yeah, she, everybody's kind of worked here for a long time, according to Heather, but she knows some of the people who've really been here. And she kind of quietly confides that we're all a little worried about the gamekeeper, who just hasn't really seemed himself since the old master disappeared. And as she shares that, she kind of quiets up again, and you've reached the door where she brought you outside, and so she opens the door and brings you back in, and you're now back inside among other people, and so she kind of changes the subject and brings you the rest of the way through. Um, and when you reach the kitchen, Frobisher is there, and he smiles at both of you, and Heather, very quickly defers to Frobisher, who nods at the two of you and says, are there any further refreshments that you require? I would like to invite you both to come to the drawing room now, if you would like.
Oh, Frobby, good man, we are well taken care of.
He is confused. But he sort of bemusedly nods and kind of looks at Heather, who just sort of like, I'm happy to continue to entertain them, sir. And he, sort of very, very well. And he kind of goes into the kitchen, or into the deeper part of the kitchen, probably to ask for another cup of tea for you all, because he doesn't really know what else to do.
We've completely befuddled the entire staff.
Shall we go draw?
Mission
Yeah, let's go draw.
accomplished.
Yeah.
All right, so the two of you head out to the drawing room.
Yeah.
Lovely. And Lord Cross, you hear a very light knock on the door of your study.
Come in.
It is one of the kitchen staff. She has brought up a small tray with what, when you lived here, was your preferred tea and your favorite biscuit. Mr. Frobisher asked me to bring this to you, sir.
Thank you, Smith.
And Smith sets the tray down on the desk and then stands at the door, sort of at attendance.
That'll be all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Leaves, door closes.
So I'm looking for anything and everything there is to be found.
Yeah, those are the only things that you're able to find. That's the only thing that seems weird in this box right now, is you have half of something, and a currently dismantled historical pistol.
All right.
I will say, again, because of the tremendousness of your effect, the more you look at this, it does kind of look like a key. Granted, it doesn't have the head, and it's got a weird thing happening to it, but like this long part looks, it's about the right size.
Well, let's fiddle with it and see. Let's fiddle around and find out.
You fiddle around. You try kind of putting it into the keyhole. It definitely, the top part does seem to fit into the top section of that keyhole, but it really does seem like there is a piece missing from this. Almost as if your GM were maybe an adventure puzzle game enthusiast. if Lord Cross had any auto commentary, it might be, I'm not sure I can use these two things together. Except, in the wonderful accent that you've been doing, and not Guybrush Threepwood.
How do we know that Guybrush Threepwood did not speak with a received pronunciation accent?
New mission: make an abyssal character named Guybrush Threepwood. So yeah, that's what you found.
I will wrap everything up and ask Frobisher to box it and prepare to take it back to London.
Mm-hmm. You pull the bell pull, and a satisfyingly short amount of time later, Frobisher appears at the door and happily and efficiently fulfills your requests.
Very good.
He also, as he brings the wrapped parcel to you, as he sets it on the desk, you sense that he's kind of hanging around for a second.
Mr. Frobisher, what am I missing?
I'm not sure that it's my place to say, sir, but I wanted to express my sincerest condolences. And I wish to offer, well, I don't mean to impose or cross a boundary, sir, but as you know, I served your father for a very long time.
Yes.
I know that he could be taciturn, tight-lipped. I know that you two... I want to be able to answer any questions that you might have to the best of my ability.
Very well then, Frobisher. What am I missing?
Well, one hates to see matched sets of such lovely antiques separated, sir.
Indeed.
It would break one's heart, sir.
Indeed. Thank you. I believe we will stay. We will stay overnight tonight, and we will return to London on the morrow. And please, please also arrange to have the monthly papers delivered to my house in London. I will advise you when we are ready to return.
Very good, sir. And my condolences again. But if it isn't improper for me to say so, sir, it is very good to see you.
Thank you, Frobisher.
He turns and leaves. And, if y'all want, we can say that the evening progresses. The three of you are brought back together. A very nice meal is laid out for all of you. Lord Cross, are you staying in... Which room have you asked for them to prepare for you? Is it the room that you grew up sleeping in here in the house? Or are you staying in the master bedroom now?
I suspect that I'm staying in the master bedroom.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And two very nice guest rooms have been fixed up for Reggie and Xandra. When you are taken to your rooms, it is the that wonderful hotel room experience. You walk in and it's just, what? What? Wait, there's more rooms like through there?
The most opulent surprise.
It's very cool. Yeah,
This
y'all
room
get
is
to
rather
have.
small and there's no bed. Go through that door.
Yes, exactly, right? Which Reggie's just like, yeah, this'll work. Oh,
Alright.
wait, what?
If I sleep on the couch, that's fine.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful guest accommodations for both of you. And Lord Cross, a very weird experience of staying in what is now your master bedroom.
Indeed.
Um, all of Lord Cross's clothes have been removed from the bureau. You suspect they've probably been packed and mothballed, kind of thing. Um, but some of his personal belongings are still set on the like the vanity and things. So it is a little bit odd. Um, so it is 8:50. So we have a couple of options. I'm thinking we could either, if y'all feel like enough has been gathered here for now, um, we could fast forward to tomorrow morning, or we could call the mission here and kind of fast forward through to everyone heading back to London. Um, or if you want, we could have some midnight shenanigans. What do y'all want to do? That
Midnight
one?
shenanigans.
Well, well, well. In that case, I think
Who has time to sleep when there's this big ass house to explore?
that is true.
There's so many. We just looked at downstairs. There's so many rooms upstairs.
So
Yeah.
after dinner, do you two go exploring together or separately?
I wait until after lights out.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I probably need like a post-supper snooze because
Almost certainly.
Reggie's not used to eating that much.
Yeah, eat, drink, and be merry was definitely the order of the evening here. To properly welcome back the new lord and his honored guests.
Yeah.
So they definitely the duck was beautiful. It was so delicious.
Cooked just in time.
It was just in time. They caught it. Um, okay, I'm gonna say that everyone has in fact gone to bed then, and we're gonna have some midnight shenanigans. So the first thing that I want to do, Lord Cross, did you go to sleep, or are you awake but in the master bedroom?
Awake, but in the master bedroom. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if or when he's going to be able to sleep in this room.
Mm-hmm. Um, so as you are awake and not sleeping, you hear from your balcony a familiar voice. And I'm going to look up the name of that character real quick so that I can surprise you with it. You wake up, or you don't wake up, you hear the familiar voice of Lord Geoffrey Dorval. From your balcony, outside the master bedroom.
I will rise and open the door, or open. Yeah, I suppose there's a balcony, so it has to be a door. Open the door and look below.
Oh no, he's on your balcony.
Dorville, what are you doing?
He smiles and looks at you and says, "It's a skill that I will teach you soon. I wanted to come and see how you are doing. It can be painful for us to come back to the places of the people that we lose." As a reminder, and for any audience who don't know, Lord Geoffrey Dorval is Lord Cross's vampire sire. This is the vampire who bit Lord Cross.
My lord, did you know my father?
Yes. Yes, I did. This was not his intention for you yet. I want you to know that.
What happened to my father?
That is what I and some of my associates are attempting to determine. We will be hoping for your continued support and participation in our investigations. We understand that you have taken up with the Metropolitan Police.
They have. They have.
He drags his cloak dramatically.
I have engaged a member of the Metropolitan Police to assist me as I investigate. It's interesting that the police as an organization seem impelled to ignore the case.
Yes, this is part of our concern as well. We are also led to understand that this member of the constabulary that you have connected with may be more like us than one might expect. Is this true?
What on earth do
Is
you mean?
this friend of yours similarly gifted beyond the average person? Perhaps not in the ways that we are. Are you spending time with vampires, man? Or with werewolves? Are you spending time with werewolves?
With what?
Shh!
You're the one that said it.
Werewolves in mythology.
As are vampires, my dear. But that hasn't stopped us.
Fair enough.
Now, it's all right if you are. We have absolutely formed coalitions with them before. Not lasting ones, I will say. They are somewhat difficult to engage with at times, prone to tempers. But I think this is good. I am not trying to chastise you, my young what would he call you?
Let's see here, sire, and well, my child might be a way.
That seems about right. Yeah, I am not trying to chastise
boy.
you, my child. My beautiful boy. I am not attempting to chastise you, my child. I am actually quite impressed. But I felt a need to come. I was aware that you were coming back here. I am glad that you have come here. I believe that you have found what you need for now. But are you doing all right? That is my primary concern. I know it may seem strange. Stress does odd things to us in the beginning.
It's all very confusing.
Yes. Yes, I know.
But I shall be fine.
Very well, my child. I will allow you to decide when we speak again. Is that all right?
As you wish.
Very well. Then I shall go. And he kind of hops off the balcony and then just sort of bats away.
What?
Very What We Do in the Shadows, but without yelling the word, because he's a little classier. All right. So, let's see. I think Volcanic suggested vampling as what Dorval might call Kron. My little vampling. Excellent. All right. Well, we are at 9, so we can decide at the beginning of next time if y'all want to go directly into downtime, or if there are any additional things that you want to do here at the manor before you head back. But I think if we decide to go into downtime, this was a very successful and exciting and interesting mission. A great first mission, lots of information gathering, fact finding, character meeting, intrigue building, and MacGuffin collecting. So, I mean, bonuses all around.
And biscuit collecting.
And some biscuits.
And some
Lovely biscuits. We will have to figure out where Frobisher gets these delicious biscuits. Alrighty. Well, thank you so much to our stalwart viewer, and thank you to my magnificent playtesting crew. This has been Volcanic Ash as Reggie, Josie Zim as Xandra Wood, Brian Williams as Lord Cross, right over there. I am Ash Cheshire. I've been your GM and game designer and occasional rules flubber this evening. And we'll catch y'all in a couple of weeks.
Rules are meant to be broken.
And abused.
And abused.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.